Dear students, today is our fourth class on digital electronics. In previous class, we talked about Boolean algebra and we discussed some basic formats of logic gates. In today's class, we will talk about simplification of logical combinations, you can say, or we will see how we can simplify a Boolean function. So sometimes it may happen that some Boolean functions will be given in our question paper and we will be asked to simplify that Boolean function using some tricks. So one of the major, I should say, solution to this one is by using Carnot map. There is a thing called K-map. In some of the books they call it K-map, in some of the books they call it Carnot map. But Carnot map is a very handy tool for solving a Boolean function, I should say. And in today's lecture, we will actually go through the Carnot map basics. We will try to find out how we can simplify a Boolean function using Carnot map or K-map. Carnot map or K-map may have several variables. It may consist of, maybe it may have two variables, it may have three variables, or it may have more than four variables as well. It depends on the, I should say, it depends on some parameters, but in reality or in question paper, you won't be asked more than four variables. So I should say um, three variable Carnot map is a standard one, four variable Carnot map is also a standard one, but as there is a time constraint, I may not ask for or I may not go for five variable Carnot map. That is the thing. So for the time being, you should turn your focus, or you should focus solely on three variable Carnot map and four variable Carnot map for the exam. Okay, but if you want to understand the basics behind three variable Carnot map and four variable Carnot map, you should have some idea about the basic, and the basic is two variable Carnot map. So without wasting further time, let's get into our main topic. Okay, this one, I guess it's better to make it a full screen so that it becomes more understandable. Okay, as you can see, as you can see maybe we have to do a slight modification. Give me a minute. What I'm trying to do is, let's say, okay, so let's pick this one, the highlighter. Okay, so what I'm trying to tell is, let's say we are given with this function. Okay, we are being given with this function. We have seen this kind of function in our previous lectures as well. This function can be called as a Boolean function, and without wasting further time, let's try to read this function together. F is the notation of a function. F is given as AB plus B prime A plus A prime B. This is what we are given with, and we are being asked to simplify or minimize this function. As you can see, how many variables do we have here? There are two variables, right? Those are A and B. These are my two variables that we have. So we should ideally pick two variable Carnot map. And for building a Carnot map or building a K-map table, the first thing we need to remember is 2 to the power 1. This formula we should keep in mind. In this case, the n is the number of variables. In this case, we have two variables. So 2 to the power n gives us a value of 4 in this case. Okay, 4 in this case. This 4 actually indicates that we have to make 4 cells. So you might be asking yourself, what are these cells? Cells are nothing but these things. This is one cell, this is another cell, this is third cell, this is fourth cell. All together we are having 4 cells, because 2 to the power n, 2 square gives us a value of 4. That's why we need to make 4 cells. Once we have made these cells like this one, we have to draw a line like this, and in the left hand corner we have to write one variable, that is a. On the other hand, or in the other corner we have to write the another variable, that is b. So once we have written down all these variables, our next task is to denote these cells with different numbers. As you can see, I have written down 0 here and 1 here. So same will go for this one as well. In this case, we will be writing 0 here, 1 here. Okay, this is the standard procedure for denoting cells for a two variable map. Fine. So as you can see, I have written down 0 0 in this place. Why I am writing this? Because when we are selecting this cell, we are picking up this 0 value from A, and we are picking up this 0 value from B as well. Altogether, when we merge this together, this cell value becomes 0 0. What about this one? In this one, the cell value becomes, from A we are getting 0, from B we are getting 1. So if we try to merge together, we are getting 0 1. Same goes for this cell. In this cell, A holds a value of 1 and B holds a value of 0. So altogether we have a value of 10. Same goes for this one. In this cell we have A value of 1 and the B value goes like 1. So 1 and 1, we have these values. So the same cell representation can be done in this way. So as I was telling, let me make it full screen and then talk. Okay, so as I was telling that this representation and this representation are the same. So in this case we have represented this full thing in binary, but the same thing is represented here, but in this case we are considering this one as a decimal number conversion system. I shouldn't say decimal number conversion system. This table is represented in decimal system. As you can see, this 0 0 is nothing but a single 0 in decimal system, and let's say this 0 1, this cell is was represented with 0 1, but in this case, as you can see, it is represented 1 only. When this cell is represented with 1 0, 1 0 is nothing but 2, so that's why I have written down 2 here. Same goes for this one as well. When we have when we have 11, 11 is equivalent to 3, and that's why this 3 is being written here. Okay, so now you know that this table and this table are the same. Actually, this table is also equivalent to this one, and this table is also equivalent to this one. So they both are the same, to be honest. As you can see, this A and B remains as it is, but here in this places, instead of writing numbers, zeros and ones, we have written down A prime or A bar. Here we have written down A. The same, we have written down B bar, and we have written down B over here. Why is that? So in this step you might be a little bit confused why I have written down A bar here and why I am writing down A here. And the answer to your question is, as you can see, I have written down 0. So 0 is equivalent to a bar. In SOP, sum of product representation, let me remind you one thing. In this case, in this specific problem, we are dealing with SOP. What is SOP? If you don't know, don't worry about it. For the time being, we will discuss it in details, great details, in our next lectures. But for the time being, just remember that SOP stands for sum of products. That means we are summing up, we are first multiplying some values and then adding up them together or compiling them together. That's why we are telling that this thing is a sum of product thing. And in SOP, a 0 is equivalent to a bar or a prime. 0 is equivalent to a bar or equivalent to a prime. This is what you need to remember. So as you can see, we wrote 0 here. This 0 is equivalent to a bar. That's why I have written down a bar here. Same goes for this one as well. As you can see, I have written down 1 here. That's why I have written down a only. So you might be asking why I'm writing down a only, because this column, the column that we are talking about, is only interested with a's. So in this column we have to write down a, here we have to write down b. Okay, in this case we have to write down b. So b, the same goes for in this column or this row, whatever you call it, but because of this 0, I have written down a b bar here. Okay, the same goes for this one as well. As we have 1 here, I have written down b here, not b bar. This is what you need to remember. Fine, this is what you need to remember. And in this case, in this place, what you need to write, this place, as you can see, this cell comprised of this a bar and this b bar. That's why I have written down a bar dot b bar. Fine, same goes for this cell as well. This cell comprised of a bar and b. That's why I have written down a bar b. What about this cell? This cell is comprised of a and b bar. That's why I have written down a and b bar. The same goes for this one as well. This cell is comprised of a and b. That's why I have written down a b. Fine, this is how you can write down the different values of your cell. Keep in mind one thing, that we are dealing with sum of products, okay, and in sum of products, 0 stands for a bar, 0 stands for a prime. This is a thumb rule, I should say. You need to remember this one. So I hope the different representation of two variable K-map is now understood. So if this thing is understood, now let's get into 3 variable Carnot map. Okay, so as you can see, these tables, all these 3 tables are graphical representation. I shouldn't say graphical representation. These are all representation of 3 variable Carnot map. Okay, these are all representation of 3 variable Carnot map. And as I'm telling you that it is a 3 variable Carnot map, so how many cells we will be having in this case? 2 to the power n. N stands for the number of variables. As we have 3 variables here, the number of cells we will be having is 8. We will be having 8 cells. In this case, so how many cells do we have here? This is cell number 1, 2, 3, 4. This is 5, 6, 7 and 8. These are my cells. These are the 8 cells that we have. We have 8 cells altogether. So this satisfies our conditions of having 2 to the power n number of cells. The first condition is met. The next task is to build a table. So for building a table, as you all know, we draw a line like this, and in the left hand corner we have to write a. After writing a, 2 more variables are still remaining, so those 2 variables has to be written here on the right hand corner like this, b, c. So once we have written down this, our next task is to fill those cells with different values. So as we all know, in the left hand column we have only one variable, that is a. So we have this 0 and we have 1. These are the possible combinations that we may have for a, right? 0 and 1. Is there any other combination possible for a? No. The answer is no, because it's a single value variable. What about BC? BC, it has 2 variables. So these are the possible combinations we will be having. First we can write 0, 0, then we can write 0, 1. Now there is a catch. There is a catch. In most of the cases, students tend to make a mistake in this case. So after writing 0 0 here, 0 1 here, that's completely fine. But in general, what we write after 0 0 and 0 1, we tend to write 1 0, right? 1 0 stands for 2. This is 0, this is 1, and then 2, then 3. It goes like this. But as you can see, after writing 0 0, after writing 0 1, what we have written is 1 1. Or we can say we have skipped one place, that is this one, and we went to the next cell and we have written down 10 here. 0 0 0 1 1 0, and then the vacant space in between 0 1 and 10 is filled up with 1 1. So as you can see, now there is a, you can say, a slight sequence change. So this is what, or this is how it is being written for a 3 variable Carnot map. I should say you need to memorize or remember this one, whatever you call it, you need to remember this one. After 0 0 0 1, you need to write 1 0 here in this cell, on top of this cell, and the vacant space has to be filled with 11. Okay, this is how it goes. Fine, fair enough. And then the values of the cell should be written like this. So this cell, say for example, is comprised of this A, or you can say this 0. So 0, then this BC, from this BC value we are taking 0 0, so 000 will be here. What about this one? A comprised with the value of 0, and then BC holds the value of 0 1, that's why 0 and then 0 1. What about this one? A holds the value of 0, and from BC we have taken this 11, that's why this cell holds a number of 0 1 1. Same goes for this one. A holds the value of 0, and from BC side we have taken this 10, so altogether the value of this cell is 0 1 0. So same goes for this one as well. We are taking this 1 from this A side, and BC holds the value of 0 0, that's why we have taken this 0 0, and this cell comprised of 1 0 0. If you are having trouble understanding this, I should say you should have some idea about coordinate system or place values. So please go through that one if you are having trouble understanding why these cell values are taking these values. Anyways, so what about this cell? This cell holds the value of 1 0 1. Why is that? Because this one is coming from the value of A. Which A? This A, right? This A. And what about this 0 1? This 0 1 is actually coming from this BC value. The same goes for this one. This holds the value of 111 because A holds the value of 1, and from this case we have 1 1 as well. Same goes for this one as well, 1 and 10. So instead of writing in this manner, we could have written the same table in this representation as well. This is the binary representation, and this is the same representation in decimal. So as you can see, this 0 0 000 is nothing but 0, then we have 1, then we have 3. Why we are having 3 here? Because as you can see here, we had 0 1 1. 0 1 1 is equivalent to 3. So same goes for this one as well. 10 is equivalent to 2. That's why we have written down this 2 over here. What about this one? 100 is equivalent to 4. 101 is equivalent to 5. 111 is equivalent to 7. That's why we have written down 7 over here. 110 is equivalent to number 6 here. So this is how we can represent a binary 3 variable Carnot map into a decimal 3 variable Carnot map. Now that we have talked about the binary and the decimal values, next up we can represent it in terms of A, B and its complements as well. As you can see in this cell holds the value of A bar, B bar, C bar. Why is that? I told you that, as you can see, this cell previously this cell had a value of A value of 0, B value of 0, C value of 0. So in SOP representation, sum of product representation 0 means a bar. So we have taken, or we have given a bar on top of A, we have given a bar on top of B, we have given a bar on top of C as well. This is how it goes. I'm not going to explain all the other values. Let's take the last one, that is this one. In this place we had A value of 1, B value of 1, and C value of 0. So A value of 1 means A only, B value of 1 means B only, but C value of 0 means C bar or C prime. So this is the same value that is written here. I hope you have understood this one. So I have shown you how you can write or draw a 3-variable Carnot map using the variable and its complements. I have shown 2 values, so I hope and I firmly believe you will be able to write down rest of the values. I have already given you the values, so you try to verify whether I have written it correctly or not. This is your task, and I will give this as your homework. Okay, you try to find it out, you try to remember this one, you try to understand this one, you try to figure it out. Okay, now let's get into okay, so as I was telling, a 3-variable Carnot map can either be drawn in this manner in horizontal tables, or it can be written as this vertical tables as well. It's up to you, but I personally prefer the horizontal one. I'm not going to explain this one. The only thing that I will tell you is, as you can see, the first step is to draw a line like this, and in left hand column we have written AB, and in the right hand column I have written C only. Okay, so instead of writing AB and C, we could have write it in this manner as well. Okay, instead of writing the previous one, I'm talking about this one, instead of writing all the values in horizontal columns, we could have write in this manner as well. This is up to you. Okay, so I'm not going to explain this. I firmly believe that you will be able to do that. Now that we have talked about 3 variables Carnot map, let's get into the final thing, that is 4 variable Carnot map, building table for a 4 variable Carnot map. Okay, we are just trying to build tables, we are just trying to draw the tables. We haven't got into finding out or minimizing different forms. We haven't got into that one. We are just now trying to build tables for 2 variable Carnot map, 3 variable Carnot map, 4 variable Carnot map, and so on. So this is the first thing that we are trying to do. Fine. So your homework will be this one. Try to figure this thing out. Okay, try to figure this thing out, try to understand it. If something is not understood, time and again I'm telling you one thing, feel free to ask me your questions. You can ask your questions me on my group as well. You can ask me questions via email. You can ask questions on my WeChat. Feel free to ask your questions. I will be more than happy to help you out. Anyways, now let's get into the 4 variable Carnot map. Okay, what we do for a 4 variable Carnot map, the first thing first is to check how many cells will be there. So as we have 4 variables, there will be 2 to the power 4, that is 16 number of cells will be there. So as you can see, I have drawn 16 cells, 1 cell, 2 cell, this is cell number 3, and then we have cell number 4, we have cell number 5, we have cell number 6, we have cell number 7, we have cell number 8, cell number 9, cell number 10, 11, 12, this is 13, 14, 16, 13, 14, 15 to be exact, and this is 16. So as we can see, we have built 16 cells. Once we have built the cells, what is our next task? Can you tell? Now that we have built our cells, our next task is to draw different variables. I shouldn't say draw, but once we have, let's pick a highlighter, it makes it more easier to understand. So now that we have built this cells, our next task is to draw a line like this, and on the left hand corner I have taken AB, and on the right hand corner we have taken CD. As we have four variables altogether, that's why I have written down the variables in this manner. So this is how you need to write, you need to remember this one. And using this AB, these are the possible combinations that we can have. First I have written down 0 0, then the next possible combination is 0 1. After 0 1 I have kept this, you can say kept this place vacant, and then after 0 1 I have written down 1 0 in this place. Okay, why I'm telling this, because after 0 0 0 1 1 0 should come in terms of binary. That's why I have kept this place vacant. So once I have written this 1 0 here, the next task is to fill up this vacant space in between 0 1 and 1 0. So I'm referring to this place. Now I have written down 1 1 in this place. Okay, so same goes for this one as well. Okay, 0 0 first we have written down, then we have written down 0 1, and after that we have written down 1 0, and in between we have written down 1 1 in between this. Okay, so same in the same manner we have filled all the places. What about this cell? What is the value of this cell? This cell holds a value of 0 0. You can say 0000. Why is that? The first 00 is actually the value of this AB. The second 00 holds is actually the value of CD. The same goes for this cell as well. This cell holds a value of 0001. So 00 is coming from AB this side, and the next portion, this 01, is coming from the CD value, that is this one. I'm not going to, okay, let's talk about this one as well. What about this one? This 00 is coming from AB, and this 1 1 is coming from this CD. 1 1 is coming from CD. The same goes for this one as well. 0 0 is coming from AB. This 1 0 is coming from CD. Fine. This is how it goes. This is how it goes. What about this one? This one, first I have written down 0 1 0 1, and then I am writing down 0 0. Okay, 0 1, then 0 0. The same goes for this one as well. First I have written down 0 1, and then 0 1. What about this one? 0 1 1 1. What about this place? 0 1 1 0. This is how the different cell values should be written down. Okay, so I'm not going to talk about all of these because the procedure is almost the same. I shouldn't say almost the same, the procedure is exactly the same in all the cases. You try to fill up the values. Why I'm trying to tell you this? Because it will come in handy when we will be solving some numeric problems. Now it might not be that much of importance, and you might not be getting the core idea behind this cell values, but once we get into solving a numerical problem, we will be needing this one. Okay, so what about now? Let's look into this one. Why this is another representation. This representation, you can say, this table, the same table, this same table is being represented in this manner. This is the kind of same kind of representation, but in different forms. Almost similar kind of representation, but in different forms. Okay, so this is how you can solve a four variable Carnot map. Form a four variable Carnot map, I should say. Okay, so this cell holds, you can say this is represented in terms of the variables and its complements, and this table is represented in terms of binary values, I should say. This is representation in terms of binary values. This is the representation in terms of the variables and its complements. So this holds the value of A bar, B bar, C bar, D bar. Why is that? Because as you can see, this cell had a value of 0 0 0 0, and if you remember from my previous slide, in my previous slide I told you that if a cell or if a variable holds a zero value in SOP, sum of products found, that in that case 0 should be marked with a bar or a prime. So 0, in this case this 0, because of this 0 I have written down A bar, because of this 0 I have written down B bar, because of the third 0 I have written C bar, because of the fourth 0 I have written D bar. Now let's pick another random value. Let's pick this one, the second last value. So I've written down A, B bar, C and D. This actually is coming from this one. So as you can see, the value that we had in this cell was 1011. So 1, because of this 1 I have written down A. Because of this 0, look carefully, because of this second 0 we have written down B bar. Because of this 1 I have written C, and because of the last one I have written D. So this is how we actually write down the cell values. Now let's talk about the final one, that is this one, A, B bar, C and D bar. So as you can see, because of this 1 I have written A, because of this 0 I have written B bar, because of this 1 I have written C, and because of this 0 I have written D bar. This is how we can write down our values. This is how we can write down different. This is the process of writing down a table of K-map that has 4 variables, and this representation, the second one, is called the representation in terms of its variables and its complement. This is not a binary representation, you need to remember this. Fine, and this is it. Now we will try to place values in our K-map table in our next slide. So now let's talk about the SOP expression for 2-variable Carnot map or 2-variable K-map. So before talking about in details, let's make it full screen once again. Okay, and as you can see, pick the highlighter. Let's pick the highlighter. Okay, anyways, so this is a question that we are given with. A function is given. So what we are given with? We are given with a function, and the function looks like this. We are given with a function like this. What is our next task? Our task is to build a table and put different values. You might not understand at the very first place, but please try to understand it. Once the video is over, I'm 100% sure that you will be able to understand. So this value is given. I shouldn't say value, this function is given. Okay, so as we all know, this function, as this is a SOP, sum of products representation, we are given with this function A bar B bar plus A B bar plus AB. So A bar is represented with 0, B bar is represented with 0 again. Here A is represented with 1, B bar is represented with 0 again. I have told you time and again that bar is represented with a 0 in SOP format. Then again we have A, so that's why I have written 1. We have B, that's why I have written 1. So we have figured out the binary representation of the given Boolean function. So once we have figured out the binary representation, from this binary representation we can write down the decimal representation as well. You can say this thing is the decimal representation. Just write down the short form DEC, decimal representation. So 00 stands for 0 itself, 10 is nothing but 2, 11 is nothing but 3. So once we have figured this thing out, we can find out the mean terms. What is mean term? Don't worry about it. If you don't know about it, we just need to write down this sum, then small m, and in the bracket I have to write down this 0, and then I have to write down this 2, then I have to write down this 3, because this is what we got from our given function. And as in the question paper it is given that it is a 2 variable Carnot map, and even if this is not given, from the given function itself we are observing that we have only two variables, those are a and b. So that's why we have to build 2 to the power 2 or 2 square, that is 4 cells. So in this manner we have built 4 cells. This is cell 1, cell 2, this is cell 3, and this is our cell 4. These are the cells that we have 4 cells. In this manner we have to write, and once we have figured out the cells, in the left hand corner we write a, in the right hand corner we write b, and this place is filled with the first value. So instead of writing this a bar and a, we could have easily written 0 here or 1 here. Okay, in here we could have written 0 here and 1 here. Even if you don't want to write 0 and 1, you can write a bar, because a bar is equivalent notation for 0. 1 is equivalent to a itself. So same goes for this one. Well, instead of writing 0, we could have write b bar here. Instead of writing 1, we could have write b here. So what about this cell value? This cell holds a value of 0, isn't it? This cell holds a value of 0, 0, or 0, whatever you call it. This cell holds a value of 0, 1, or 1 only. This cell holds a value of 1, 0, or you can say 2. This cell holds a value of 1, 1, or 3. So this is the binary representation of the cells. Decimal representation of the cell numbers are given in this table. 0, then 1, then we have this 2, then we have this 3. As you can see, 3 of the cells are replaced with a value of 1, or placed with a value of, here we have placed 1, in this cell we have placed 1, in this cell we have also placed 1, but as you can see this cell is vacant. Why is that? Because we are only supposed to fill up this 0 number cell, we are only supposed to fill up this second 2 number cell, and we are supposed to fill up this 3 number cell, but from the given function it is evident that we are not supposed to fill cell number 1, because cell number 1 is nowhere written here. Nowhere we have figured out the cell number 1. That's why there is no need to fill up cell number 1. We need to keep this cell number 1, this, vacant. That's why we haven't written anything in this cell. Is this understood? So now let's look at the SOP expression for a 3 variable Carnot map. In the previous slide we discussed how we can construct a 2 variable Carnot map table. In this slide we will be talking about the SOP forming SOP expression, summation of products, sum of products expression for 3 variable Carnot map. So as you can see, what I have done here is, the first thing is to check whether this formula is satisfying or not, or in other words we can say, first we need to check how many cells we need to form. In this case, as you can see, there are 3 variables. As we have 3 variables, so altogether there will be 2 to the power 3 number of cells. So 2 cube belongs to 8, so there will be 8 cells. So as you can see here, there are total of 8 cells that we have formed. 1, 2, 3, 4, this is cell number 5, cell number 6, cell number 7, and cell number 8. So this is how we can build in total 8 cells. Okay, this is how we can build 8 cells. And as you can see, in the left hand corner we have written A, and on the right hand corner I have written the other two variables. Those are BC. BC are combined together, as we have total 3 variables. One variable is left out in the left hand corner, and the other 2 variables are boiled down together or merged together in this format. Okay, so this is how it is being written. So instead of, I suggest you to do one thing. Instead of writing or drawing this table first, I would recommend you to draw this table, because this is the binary representation of the tables. This is more easier to understand compared to this one. Okay, so my question is here, the question is given like this. We are given with a function that is f of ABC. This is the function that we are given with, and you are being asked to place this function in the Carnot map and to find out the mean terms. So I hope you have understood the question. The question is, given this function, find out the mean terms of this function, and put values, or you can say construct a K-map using this function and put corresponding values inside that Carnot map. This is the question. So I hope you have understood the question. So as you can see, the first place we have A bar, B bar and C bar. So all these 3 values are prime values or barred values. So A bar should be represented with a value of 0. Same goes for B bar as well, C bar as well. So 000. So as you can see, I have written down this 000 for this one. Next up we have A bar, then we have B bar, and then C. A bar is 0, B bar is also 0, and C we can write only 1. Okay, next up we have A bar, B, C. So for A bar we need to write down 0, because bar or a prime sign is represented with a 0. That's why I'm writing down this thing with a 0. Then we have this B. So B is represented only B. There is no bar or prime. So B should be represented with 1. Fine. Next up we have what we have. Next up we have this C. So C, this is not C bar. So only C should be represented with what? 1, right? Only C should be represented with a single 1 here, like this. So this is what I have written down here. And the last term is A, B, C bar. A should be represented with 1, B is represented with 1, and C bar should be represented with 0. So 1, 1, 0 is the value that we have. Fine. So once we have figured this thing out in binary, so 0 can be considered as 0 itself, 0, 0, 1. It's a binary representation. If we represent this thing in decimal, it goes like 1, 0, 1, 1 goes like 3, and then 110. 110 can be represented as 6, okay, in decimal numbers. So once we have found out its decimal equivalent values, the next task that we can do is what? Is write down in this manner. Okay, this is the mean term. Writing the mean terms. Finally, in this manner we can write down the mean terms. So summation of m, then there is a bracket, and in between the bracket I have written down this 0, and then this 1, then this 3, and this 6. This is how you can write down the mean terms. And These mean terms will be useful, or this will be particularly handy when we want to fill up the K-map with specific values. So as you can see, this K-map is built in this manner. In A we have 0 and 1, in B and C we have 0, 0, then we have 0, 1, then we have 10, and in between we have this 11. Fine. So the first value, in this case, as we all know, I don't have to recap, or I don't think I have to repeat the same thing again. So in this case I can write this position as 0, 0th position or 0th cell. This is cell number 1. Then we have cell number 2, and in between we write cell number 3. This is how it is being written. I hope you remember from the previous slide. Next up we have this cell number 4, and then we have cell number 5, cell number 6, and in between we have this cell number 7. Now it's time for us to fill up these cells with specific values. As we have figured out that the mean terms representation is this one, so at cell number 0 we will be having some value, at cell number 1 we will have some value, at cell number 3 there will be some value, at cell number 6 there will be some values. What value? We need to fill up these spaces with ones, because we are interested in SOP, sum of products. In this case, in this specific example, we are solving it for sum of products. That's why this mean term values should be replaced, or mean term cells should be replaced with ones. So 0 number cells, as you can see, is replaced with a 1. This number 1 cell, this is cell number 1, is filled up with another one. Then number 3, cell number 3 is filled up with a 1. Then cell number 6, where is cell number 6? This one. Cell number 6 is replaced with another 1. And rest of the values, if you want, you can put a 0 in rest of the vacant cells. If you don't want to put 0, that is also fine, it's up to you. So I hope you have understood how we can find out the SOP expression for a 3-variable Carnot map. Now we will get into SOP expression for 4-variable Carnot map. Now let's try to find out how we can solve, or how we can find SOP expression for a 4-variable Carnot map. And the question goes like this: we are given with a function like this one, f equals to a bar, b bar, c bar, d bar, and as you can see there are several terms, to be exact 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 terms are there in total. So the first thing that we can do is we can find out the given function's binary equivalent, and from the binary equivalent we can try to find out the decimal equivalent. Once we have figured out the binary and the decimal equivalent, we can place ones in the Carnot map. In the corresponding Carnot map we can place the values. So as we can see, the first one, a bar, b bar, c bar, d bar, all the values are barred, or all the values have bar on top of it. So this will be denoted with 4 zeros. So as you can see, this is denoted with 4 zeros like this. Next up we have this a bar, b bar, c bar, and then d. So we will be having 3 zeros followed by 1. This is what we have written here. Next up we have tried to find out the value, this one. The same goes for the other values as well. So once we have figured out all these values like this, so as you can see, the last function value is a, b bar, c, d bar. So here we will be having a bar, as we have b bar, so it will be represented with a 0. Then we have C only, so 1 D bar is 0 again. So 1 0 1 0. So this is what we have written here. Once we have found out all the binary equivalent, next up is to find out the decimal equivalent of this one. So 0 0 0 can be represented with 0 itself. Fine. I'm not going to explain all the other values. Let's take the last one, that is 0 0. So binary 0 0 is equivalent to decimal 10. If you don't remember, I would suggest you to look into the table. This is given in your book as well. There is a table where we can write. I am not going to explain all this, or you can say this is a simple binary to decimal conversion. So it shouldn't be that much difficult. Next up is to fill all these spaces, this mean term spaces, with ones in the K-map. So as you can see, there are 4 variables, so there will be 2 to the power 4 number of cells. So 2 to the power 4 gives us a value of how much? 2 to the power 4 gives us a value of 16. So there will be altogether, there will be 16 cells. So 16 cells can be drawn in this manner. This is cell number 1, cell number 2, cell number 3, 4, cell number 5, cell number 6, 7, 8, 9th cell, 10th cell, 11th, 12. This is 13, this is 14, 15 and 16. Altogether there are 16 cells. And once we have drawn 16 cells, next up we need to draw a line like this, and as we have 4 variables, 2 variables should be written on the left hand corner, other 2 variables should be written on the right hand corner like this. So after this one we have to write down the cell values, or cell, you can say cell values, or you can say cells position. This is 0th cell, this is 1 first cell, then this is second cell, and then third cell, fourth cell, fifth cell, seventh cell, uh, this is fifth, and then this is sixth, and in between we have seventh. So this is what you need to remember. In between 5 and 6 there is 7. Then we have 12th cell, 13th cell, then 14th cell, in between we have 15th cell. Here we have this 8th cell, then we have 9th cell, then we have 10th cell, and then in between we have 11th cell. So once we have found out different cells, it's time for us to fill up these cells with different values. So cell number 1 should be replaced with a 1, as because we are dealing with SOP expressions. So 0th cell should be replaced with a 1. So here we have the 0th cell, it is replaced with a, or it is filled with 1. First cell is filled with 1. Second cell is filled with 1. Where is second cell? Here. Second cell is filled with 1. Cell number 6 is filled with 1. Where is cell number 6? Here. It is filled with 1. Then we have cell number 8, 9 and 10. Where is 8, 9 and 10? Let's try to figure out. 8 is filled with a 1. Then 9th cell is filled with 1. And then 10 is filled with 1. So in this slide, we saw how we can find out the mean terms, or from SOP expression of 4 variable Carnot map. Once we have done this, okay, once we have found out the mean terms, we try to find out the equivalent decimal, I should say, um, decimal mean term, decimal, what should be the exact word? I should say the first step is to find out the binary equivalent of the given function. Then from the binary equivalent, try to find out the decimal equivalent. It is particularly helpful for finding out the mean terms. So as you can see in this line, we have figured out the mean terms. Once we have figured out the mean terms, we need to fill up the K-map different cells. We need to fill up the cells of K-map where with ones, where in these places, in these cells, and apart from these cells other cells should be kept either vacant, or other cells can be filled with zeros. It's up to you. You can either keep those other cells vacant, or you can keep fill those uh, fill those cells with zeros. It's up to you. Okay, so we have found very important topic here. We have learned an important topic of filling up filling up the tables values with different ones. Okay, next up, what we will be doing is we will be trying to group together. So now that we have filled different cells with values of 1, next up is to group those or group them together. So grouping is an important part for solving our K-map. So once the grouping is done, we will try to minimize the expression. Our final task is to minimize the given expression. So in this task, we haven't gone into that one. We haven't tried to minimize the expression. We have just tried, or we have just seen how we can fill up the K-map cells from the given SOP expressions. So this is, you can say, step number 1 of minimizing an expression from the given function or given expression. So minimization and grouping will be taught in our